This is a screencast on how to find common factors and multiples. This is an important skill to learn because this will help you to understand the different how numbers relate to each other. So, before we begin, we need to decide or define more specifically what a factor and what is a multiple. So, let's take a factor here. Let's take the question 6 times 2 equals 12. These two numbers here are called factors because we've multiplied them together. So any numbers we multiply together, those numbers are specifically called factors. So if you like, a factor times a factor equals a product. Okay, so other such factors of 12 are 3 and 4, 1 and 12 are other factors of 12. A multiple is slightly different. Now, a multiple, if we were to say take 3 and 4 here, and we would start listing all the multiples of 3 and 4, we would find they might have one in common. So if we take 3 here, so the multiples of 3 are 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 12, 15. As you can see, it's kind of like skip counting, but what it is, a multiple is where you take this number here and you multiply it by another factor. Whatever that product is, or the answer is a multiple. So we could keep going right up if we wanted to. Same with 4. 4 times 1 is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Now, as you can see here, we've actually got a couple of the same. We've got 24 here, and we've got 12. They actually become the common multiples of 3 and 4. And often what you're asked to do is find the lowest common multiple, and in this case, it is 12. So let's quickly go back to that. A factor is what is used, multiplied together to make a product, and multiples are where we take the particular multiples of a number and we multiply it by other factors, and the answers to those questions, when we list them out, kind of like skip counting, are the multiples of that number. So let's have a look at some. Bryan, Peter and Murray buy packets of cakes. Bryan has 12 cakes, Peter has 15, and Murray has 9. How many cakes are in the packet? And in this question here, please assume that there's more than one cake per packet. So if we take those three numbers, 12, 15, and 9, and we look at what their common factors are. So let's have a look at, so the factors for 12 are 1 and 12, 3 and 4, 2 and 6. For 15, it's 1 and 15, because 15 times 1 is 15, and 3 and 5, and then for 9 we have 1 and 9, and 3 and 3. And you'll see here that the common factor is 3. So in this case, we can assume that the cakes come in packets of 3, because we've listed out all the factors in different combinations. Let's try another example. This one up here, this time Bryan, Peter and Murray buy packets of lollies. Bryan has 60, Peter has 40, and Murray has 48. What are the common factors? So let's go again. List them down here. So what equals 60? Well, we know that 6 times 10, 1 and 60, 4 and 15, 2 and 30, so those, and we've got 5 and 12. There's another one. 40, and I might change a different colour so we can differentiate it. We've got 1 and 40, 8 and 5, 8 times 5 is 40. 4 times 10 is 40. 2 times 20 is 40. Whoopsie. 2 times 20 is 40. And underneath here we have, for 48, we have 6 times 8, or 6 and 8. 6 times 8 is 48. 48 and 1. 4 times 12. And that's all. So now what we have to do is try and find the common multiples. And you'll notice that a common multiple between all of them is the number 4. Is a common multiple that you can see. For the most part, common factor, not common multiple, common factor. We don't worry about doing the 1 because all numbers have that as a common factor. So what we do is we just then look for the other one. Another one that I've forgotten to do, and I forgot to list it here, is 2 and 24. So you'll see here that 2 is another common factor among them all. So that's common factor. So for this one, find the common factor, highest common factor for 372 and 558. Not an easy thing to do, but we're going to have a go now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bit of division here to help me. And specifically I'm looking to halve. Okay, so I'm going to keep dividing by 2. So we've got 372. So for instance, I'm going to divide this by 2. So it gives me 2 and 186. Then I'm going to divide this number by 2, because that will give me 4 and 93. The reason it's 4 is I've just halved this number again, but it would have to be 4, because we need to multiply this by 2, 4 and 93. That's as far as I can go with that number, because we're halving, because we've now got an odd number. But what I can do is I can divide this by 3. So we've got 31 as a common multiple, common factor. And how many 31s go into this is 12. So there's the numbers for that one. So a good thing to do is you can start halving the number, then halving that number further. If we go for 558, this one here, you'll start to see a bit different. So we go 2 and then 279. Then 6 and 93, and you can actually already see what the answer is going to be. 93 is the highest common factor between the two. Okay, multiples now. So with multiples, the simplest way of solving it is to put the two numbers either in a column or in a table like this and just start listing, because you're looking to find what the lowest common multiple is. So as you can see, 8, 12, 16, 20. We'll stop there. Let's see, it's 6, 12, boom, and there's our answer. 12 is the lowest common multiple of 4 and 6. 6 and 9. So if we start doing it again, 6, 12, 18, 24. Here we go. 9, 18. The lowest common multiple is 18.